During the dark period of history, there were great figures whose names have lived on through time, not only because of the victories they achieved, but also because of their indomitable spirit and the desire for freedom they pursued. One of them is Spartacus, who went from being a slave to becoming the leader of a rebellion against the mighty Roman Empire. Background and origin. Born in the 1st century BC, in a world where power and oppression went hand in hand, Spartacus became a symbol of courage, resistance, and the desire for freedom. According to ancient sources, Spartacus may have been born in Thrace, a region today part of Bulgaria, Greece, and Turkey. Although details about his origin and childhood are almost lost in history, it is theorized that he may have been a soldier before becoming a slave. The Roman Empire became powerful through violence and the brutal exploitation of slaves. When the Roman army invaded Thrace, Spartacus was captured and sold as a slave. He was then sent to a gladiator training school in Capua, where he was forced to learn to fight to the death for the entertainment of the Roman crowd. The life of a gladiator slave in Capua was one of the harshest challenges Spartacus had to face. The gladiator training school was not only a place to hone fighting skills, but also a test of courage, will, and survival skills. With an indomitable spirit, Spartacus became one of the best gladiators. But unlike others, he fought with the hope of one day being free. During the cold nights at the Ludus, Spartacus built camaraderie and a fighting spirit among other gladiator slaves. He shared with them the dream of freedom, of a world where they were no longer entertainment tools for the Romans. Gradually, Spartacus became a beacon of hope for the slaves in the gladiatorial arena. But life at the Ludus also taught Spartacus an important lesson. Freedom is not something that can be given, it must be fought for and won. And from here, the plan for the greatest slave rebellion in the history of the Roman Empire began to take shape. The spectacular escape. In 73 BC, Spartacus, along with about 70 other slaves, made a daring escape from the gladiator training school of Lentulus Batiatus near Capua. Their first weapons were just knives stolen from a dining hall, and some weapons found along the way. The rebellion began as they fled to the caldera area of Mount Vesuvius. Here, Spartacus demonstrated his natural leadership skills by choosing the difficult terrain as a stronghold, a strategy that later proved to be extremely effective. They began attacking nearby towns to seize weapons, armor, and provisions. At that time, the Roman army was facing difficulties on many fronts, making the rebellion of Spartacus more formidable than ever. Faced with an unprepared Roman army, Spartacus and his comrades achieved their first victories, creating momentum for the rebellion to expand further. With each battle, the number of slaves joining the rebellion grew from hundreds to thousands, each carrying the desire for freedom and justice. The surprise attack. Realizing the potential danger from the rebels, the Roman Senate sent a praetor named Claudius Glaber to command a force of about 3,000 militiamen to surround Spartacus's hideout on Mount Vesuvius. However, by using ropes made from grapevines to descend a different cliff, Spartacus and his army launched a surprise attack on the back of the Roman forces. This victorious battle made a big impact, attracting more slaves and even prisoners of war to join the rebellion. From there, it developed into a powerful army of over 70,000 people. Winter at Vesuvius and expansion. After the initial victory, Spartacus used the winter of 73 to 72 BC to train and arm his army and recruit new members. In addition, the rebellion expanded beyond Vesuvius, attacking nearby towns like Nola, Nuceria, Thurii, and Metapontum. This expansion strengthened the rebel forces and spread the spirit of freedom throughout the region. Spartacus became an excellent leader as he led the slave army to numerous resounding victories. Confrontations with the Roman legions. The rebellion of Spartacus faced the Roman legions in a series of battles, most notably the clash with two consular armies under the command of Lucius Gellius Publicola and Gnaeus Cornelius Lentulus Clodianus. In the spring of 72 BC, recognizing the growing threat from Spartacus's slave army, the Senate sent two consular legions under the command of Lucius Gellius Publicola and Gnaeus Cornelius Lentulus Clodianus. Initially, these legions achieved victory by defeating a group of 30,000 slaves led by Crixus near Mount Garganus. However, they were later defeated by Spartacus. Spartacus's army continued to win in the following encounters, affirming its formidable status against the Roman army. The final confrontation with Marcus Licinius Crassus. By 71 BC, the Roman Senate had appointed Marcus Licinius Crassus, a wealthy and powerful man, with the special task of quelling the rebellion. Crassus commanded 8 strong legions with over 50,000 well-trained Roman soldiers, applying a harsh but effective strategy. The two sides engaged in large battles. Eventually, with a well-trained, disciplined, and better-equipped force, the Roman army gained the upper hand, forcing Spartacus to retreat to southern Italy. To preserve his forces and recruit more, Spartacus planned to go to Sicily to build a base. Therefore, he negotiated with Cilician pirates to transport him and about 2,000 of his people to Sicily. However, he was betrayed by the pirates. The pirates seized their wealth and then abandoned the rebel slaves. Spartacus's forces then retreated towards Rhegium. The final confrontation at Rhegium, near the Strait of Messina, saw a determined but desperate Spartacus trying to break through Crassus's siege. The tragic end. The Roman army led by Crassus was also supported by the legions of Pompey returning from Spain. The final battle, which took place at the foothills near the Selle River, marked the end of Spartacus and the slave rebellion. Spartacus died in this battle and his body was never found. 6,000 survivors were crucified along the Appian Way, becoming a painful symbol of the rebellion. Conclusion. The uprising of Spartacus was a fight for freedom and a symbol of resistance against oppression and injustice. Although it could not completely change the Roman slave system, the rebellion prompted some reforms and made the Romans rethink their slave system. Furthermore, the story of Spartacus has become an inspiration for many generations, from liberation movements to arts and culture, proving the spirit of not submitting to injustice. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to the channel to see more useful videos.